from Arsenal for a moment and on to Chelsea, Dan. I mean, how confident do you feel about this game? I was working with Don earlier today, who is always supremely confident, who only predicted a 2-1 win for Chelsea because he doesn't trust the bozos at the back, namely the goalkeeper. How are you feeling about this match? Is it one where Arsenal, 1 win in 5, you're at the bridge? Is it time to step up and beat a fellow top 6 opponent? Or are you concerned that Arsenal might do you at the bridge?
No, I absolutely think it's time. I think both can be true. I think I probably agree with what Ash was saying. I'm still sort of expecting Arsenal's spark to light this season and they really get going. So I feel like a Chelsea game at where they are in their season, but we're talking about whether or not they're in or out of a title race, is the perfect time for them to do it. And obviously we've seen them come to Stamford Bridge in recent seasons and really turn up. So yeah, I'm wary of that. I'm wary that last season we probably could have won that game and Sanchez left a lot to be desired from his performance. Arsenal were in the game because of him. And I just worry we might see a repeat of that. So a draw is something where I think Chelsea's current form would be a respectable result. But I think this is the best chance Chelsea have had to beat Arsenal in years. And I think Chelsea need a performance to sort of liven things up, because I think if we finish this sort of 4-game period that we've had between international breaks with 4 points, I actually don't think that's good enough, however you dress it up.
I think you'll win. I think Chelsea will win this game. I think
how okay. You asked how, but I want to get into a bit more nitty gritty here. How would Chelsea win, in your opinion?
So
if the game is in transition, it's got to be Henry.
Yeah, Arsenal have all the ball. The counter attack is where Chelsea played their best football under Poch, and I think you will see a similar sort of thing. One thing that a lot of people are sleeping on is Chelsea rested their entire 11 this week. Like the entire
Henry, I don't know how much of a benefit that has been for Chelsea, because we've rested our entire 11 for Manchester United, didn't win that game. We rested our entire 11 probably for the Liverpool game, didn't win that game. I don't know how beneficial this is. Like, we've seen other teams, like Arsenal have played the majority of their 11 against Inter Milan. They'll lose that game, but they might go into the Chelsea game even more motivated to win it. Sometimes I believe that the best teams don't rotate fully to the extent that Chelsea are doing right now. I don't think 11 rotations is...
There's definitely an argument.
I'm not sure how much our team gets out of beating Noah, though. This is the problem.
Like, no, I hear what you're saying, but I think it's do you know what it is? It's just... do you know what it is? It's a week not without playing football, but the last game we've had, they're probably hungry to go and put it right. Yeah, you know, some of them didn't have great performances. Why not play them against Noah and let them just, I don't know, get their confidence up a bit? If someone scores a hat-trick who didn't have a Madueke, go and get a hat-trick or a couple of goals, goes into this game flying. You know, what's the point in João Felix and Nkunku coming in both with 2 goals and they could be flying going into this game, but they're not actually going to play? Obviously, I understand to the extent resting a player, but I also think there's something to be said for building up like players' confidence against a team like Noah.
You make a really good point. I always remember, I think it was Bernardo Silva who said that a couple of seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, I think maybe when Arsenal weren't in Europe and they were in the top 4 race. I think it was 3 seasons ago now. And there was a lot of talk around, we've got 1 game a week, it's easier. And I think it was Bernardo Silva that was speaking maybe around the April time. And he was questioned about, is it tough playing 2 games a week? And he just said, mentally and physically, as players, we prefer it. Because you're not stressing about games because you're preparing for the next one. And it keeps you in a really good flow. So again, I do agree with you to a certain extent on that I know it sounds good. We get to rest our entire team. But do they lose a bit of flow? Arsenal's players playing 2 games a week. I know they're not in great form as an example, but you've got to go with listening to the champs. You've got to go with listening to the best. And Bernardo Silva and Man City, whether people love them or loathe them, have been amazing. And nearly all the top teams you speak to, the players say, I want 2 games a week. As fans, although we can have our own opinions, surely they've got to be led by the experts who are the players in that circumstance. So I do get where you're coming from, Dan, that there's an element here of, you know, chemistry as an example, and a whole week of not playing again. I think there's a lot of stress on Chelsea to win this game as well. I think, and people are giving it the big one. A lot of Chelsea fans, a lot of rivals, a lot of people predicting Arsenal getting hurt. By Chelsea.
I think more of the pressure's on Arsenal, though. for me, looking at this, the way everyone's building up this game, I'm looking at the game like, well, I mean, if Arsenal don't win this game, their whole purpose of this season in the league is over. That's the way it's being built up. No one's looking at Chelsea going like, realistically, if Chelsea lose this game, people will say this 4-game stretch hasn't been good enough. But overall, they're still doing better than we probably thought they'd be doing anyway. Whereas Arsenal, it's like, if Arsenal lose tomorrow to Chelsea,
I hear this.
They're 10 points. Not only are they behind Chelsea,
Great point.
best believe I will come on here and say some crazy stuff.
David, they could be below us.
I love it. But they could be below. They could be below Forest, Spurs, Villa, City, Liverpool. They just, bro. They could be on the second half of the table for all. I don't know where they could end up. Like there is a genuine possibility that if Arsenal, especially going into the international break, lose this game on a really bad stretch, that whole like group of players is all just going to be negative press on them. I think they're under the pressure. I'm not like, for me, I'm looking at this game like we're going into this game going like, let's try and do our best to beat Arsenal. Arsenal going into this game going, if we don't win this game, we are in big trouble.
Yeah, but David, are Arsenal in a title? Are Arsenal in a title race? Are Arsenal in a title race? So if Chelsea are currently above them in the league table, if Chelsea are currently above Arsenal in the league table, are we in a title race?
No.
I mean, it's just on goal difference, though, right? You guys have the same amount of points, right?
Okay, so
we're above
what I'm saying is
my point is
if Arsenal win this game, right, and it keeps them in the title race, why does this game not propel Chelsea to cement a top 3 challenge?
It does.
To
remove
the pressure off of this game is dangerous. Chelsea have to apply pressure.
I'm not saying I'm saying more of the
against
on Arsenal.
The worst Manchester United team we've seen in ages, right? Albeit new manager bounce made that game a lot more difficult than what it should have been in the build-up to it. And then come against like one of the worst Arsenal teams we've seen in the last 3 years and go, let's just try our best. No, I think Chelsea have to win.
I don't actually think Arsenal. No, but Dan, I don't think that Arsenal are actually bad, but we can make them look bad.
Yeah, but Arsenal's current form,
But they know, but Arsenal know themselves that if we've got to catch up 10 points on Liverpool and City, and that's their aim for the start of this season, then it's ropes. No one with any sort of sense will tell me that at the start of this season they had Chelsea in third. If we finish third, that's a bonus. That's an performance on the rest.
I swear that I predicted that on this show
to Arsenal.
I swear I predicted that here.
Arsenal's expectation is we're winning this league. That's their expectation.
Yes, but we are in a position.
Will, he just called you dumb, by the way.
Yo, bro, on this same show before the season started, I said, so I think I said Chelsea 4th, but I said the only reason that I don't have Chelsea coming 3rd is because of your defense. I swear I said that here.
Yeah, no,
I said that.
Will, that was literally my narrative before ball got kicked.
Because I said Chelsea have a better midfield and a better attack than Arsenal. And you guys laughed at me. And I think I do agree with David in terms of the expectations are for Arsenal to be winning this game because
you think they have a better midfield and attack than Arsenal? Oh, is it based on form, you mean?
No. I said before this season. They have a better midfield and attack.
I'm not gonna lie.
I think sometimes we exaggerate and go into these hyperbolic like statements. It's just mad. Like,
have you ever watched your team this season? I've been proven right so far.
Would you say?
It's been 10 games, Will. It's been 10 games.
No, but Ash, you guys in midfield and attack are awful. Even with Odegaard there.
This season, this season, I agree.
So what I'm saying is,
Will, that's this season. But you predicted this. You're saying at the start of the season. Which is what's insane, right? That's where if you said now the season Chelsea have been better, of course nobody can argue with you. It's like me saying, I think Liverpool's attack is better than us this season, but over the last 2 seasons we have been better than Liverpool in attack because we have outscored them in each of the last 2 seasons.
Yeah,
that's not
but
crazy,
if I make
right?
a prediction based off of things, but if I make a prediction based off of things that I'm seeing. Even though it might not be the popular opinion, I don't care about having an unpopular opinion because what I thought Arsenal were compared to what I thought Chelsea were, is proven right as of right now. Now, it's not
but you see how that could change. You see how that could fluctuate easily because in 2 games, let's say we beat you tomorrow. Let's say not beat you, beat Chelsea tomorrow.
He is a bit of a Chelsea fan. He is.
Okay, fair. So let's say we play Chelsea tomorrow.
Like that's just.
So let's say
that Chelsea's project is very nice. Like that.
So let's say we beat Chelsea Sunday, not tomorrow. Let's say we beat Chelsea on Sunday. And our midfield bosses, their midfield and our attack ends up obviously scoring more goals and winning. Will you switch it then and say, well, you know what, Arsenal's midfield is better now because we'll be ahead of them the table, maybe more goals. I don't know. Midfield would have bossed them.
So like how I view it.
Why I wouldn't judge anything after 10 games. I would wait at least till we get a good sample.
You're not concerned that you're not
how
scoring
I
goals.
view it is, I would rather have Chelsea's midfield and their attack than Arsenal's. Like to me,
that's a preference. Fair. That's a preference.
The only Arsenal player that I think gets into Chelsea's attack is Saka. I think what separates Arsenal and Chelsea is your defense. But as of lately, your defense is not looking that good. So kind of what I was going to say was...
But neither is theirs. They've conceded more goals than us. So how is
our... But no,
one by one. But the point is...
What I'm saying is that...
How is our defense been bad?
But in theory, you guys do have...
Yours is meant to be elite.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
Ours has been below par, but it's still been better than Chelsea's. That's the point. So our average is still better than Chelsea's. I don't know if you can call this your best. I'm assuming it's not because I think you guys can get better defensively. But this is our worst defensive run, and we have still conceded less. So if you're saying our defense is bad, I can also hit back and say, well, their defense is not being that great. And by the way, regarding the attack, we scored 2 goals against... One sec, Will. We've scored 2 goals against City this season. We've scored, just 1 goal against Spurs. Fair enough. We've scored 2 goals against the best defense in the league this season, Liverpool. We scored 2 goals against Villa at their ground. So it's not like we haven't been scoring goals, especially in big games.
Yeah, but the last 7 games, just quickly, the last 7. If you take out, you scored 3 against Preston, and I think everyone on this panel and in the world thinks you should be.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
In the last 7 games, you didn't score against Bournemouth. You scraped past Shakhtar and flopped the penalty. Fair enough, you scored 2 against Liverpool. You didn't score against Inter. You didn't score against Newcastle. Chelsea right now, if there's one chance, what Dan said, I think there's also a hell of a lot of pressure on Chelsea because if they don't beat another big 6 side, like they didn't beat Liverpool, they didn't beat Man United, and they're playing you at your absolute worst right now in terms of run of form, there's also a massive amount of pressure on them because if they don't win this game and teams around them, let's say Villa do get a draw, let's say Forest and Spurs both win, Chelsea fall down to about 7th or 8th, and then we're saying, well, hang on, what's happened to this Chelsea side? But I just genuinely think I don't think you're scoring this game. And
but Henry, but now hold on, wait. But then if people have that thought of process, then that's now you having revisionism for what you've already seen from them. Because heading into this season, a lot of you guys thought that Chelsea were shit.
I predicted Arsenal to win the league, by the way.
No, fair enough. So what I'm saying is that just based off the expectations. But just based off the expectations that people had for both of these teams coming into this season, there is more pressure on Arsenal. Now, yes, there should be pressure on Chelsea because I believe that Chelsea should be the favorites for this game just based off the form. But Arsenal, the expectations were to compete with Man City, to win the title. Arsenal fans were talking about how your defense would probably be rivaling Chelsea's record of like least amount of goals. And
that was mad. That was mad.
Yeah, no, look. Arsenal fans. Yeah, so what I'm saying is just based off how I view the 2 teams, I think Chelsea, they should be looking at this game as a one that they should be winning. But the thing is, I'm just looking at Cole Palmer because in the big games,
I was just gonna say that.
In the big 6, I've backed Chelsea to get something from these games, and they haven't. And I think Cole Palmer definitely has to step up. And I just think what makes me a little bit nervous for Chelsea in terms of if they're not going to be able to get anything from this is Robert Sanchez, Levi Colwill, and how is Maresca going to set up? Because for me, I think if he goes with like Reece James and Malo Gusto as the 2 fullbacks, and if you're inverting him again, I feel like that's going to be an issue because then I feel like it just takes away from things. But on form, Chelsea should be winning this game.
Do you know what, Will?
How are they going to look?
You know, Will, quick question to Dan and David. First of all, Palmer's pretty much fit in it. You know, he should play the game. Second of all, I can't lie. If Maresca starts Sanchez this game, I think now the pressure has to be on him, or you need to get onto him because look, last season I think we all agree Chelsea basically they didn't win the game, but Chelsea had Arsenal there Arsenal were there for the taking. If it wasn't for that assist from Sanchez to Declan Rice, I think Arsenal were dead and buried. He literally gave them a lifeline, then they managed to get a draw. And credit to Arsenal for that. But I think if Robert Sanchez keeps starting, because he plays against you, he literally gives the other team goals. Even United, I had actually predicted you lot to beat United. But the minute, because I actually thought this would be the game Jorgensen comes into the fold. When I saw Sanchez starting, I thought, United are probably going to get something here. A mistake will happen through him. What happened? He literally brings down an attacker. I believe now Maresca has to have the balls to drop Sanchez and bring in Jorgensen, because he plays against you. I can actually see another Sanchez howler and Arsenal possibly getting something out of this game, just down to him. It's like he undoes all your hard work.
Runs. The only thing genuinely that stops me from being like, we are going to beat Arsenal like very, very confidently is I know for a fact Robert Sanchez can just do what he wants.
Exactly.
He literally can do what he wants. That he can, if he really wants to, he can kick it in his own net, and it wouldn't shock me. Like he would do it, and I'd be like, yeah, I saw that.
But then why aren't you guys talking about like Levi Caldwell as well? Because I feel like he's a massive liability in the back line as well.
My personal belief is our back line plays scared because they're scared of what Robert's going to do.
What he's going to do? All right.
Like when there's like a high ball coming in and your keeper should just come claim it. Our defenders are running in front of our goalkeeper and punching it away because they just don't know what he's going to do.
Do you know where you're spot on? You could have David. You know where you're spot on. You've seen some of the best back fours have an incompetent keeper, and what it does, like him being a bit unsteady, can kind of transmit to the back four. They could be individually good as a back four, individually as a collective, but if your keeper's shaky, he kind of transmits that energy onto the back four. So I think what you're saying is spot on. Honestly,
the funny thing is, he's shaky in the sense that he has some bozo moments, but outside those bozo moments, he has a lot of good performances. Only 3 keepers in the league this season.
I'll give him that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Only 3 keepers this season in the league have faced more shots on target than Sanchez, and yet he has an 80% save success rate. That's the 3rd highest, by the way, after Alisson and Matt Sells from Forest. So he actually does a lot, and he saved the penalty as well this season. He does a lot of great things, but then those few bozo moments he has, like they kind of write off all the good work he's done.
With defenders, centre backs, and goalkeepers.
I'd rather give up the save percentage and have someone who's consistent.
Yeah, I hear you.
I get that. I think when it comes to centre backs and goalkeepers, they're the opposite of a striker. A striker can miss 3 sitters and then be a hero. Goalkeeper can make 100 amazing saves and then have a bozo moment, and he's the, we saw it last season with Onana at United. He did it. He'd have loads. I mean, fairness, so far touching wood this season, he's been really, really good. But last year, he'd be great save, good this, good that, and then an average shot would be hit at him and it'd go for his legs, and you think, fuck off. How are you doing that to us?